Have you ever noticed that feeling? The moment a sliver of boredom creeps in, your hand instinctively reaches for your phone. It's like a reflex, a scroll, a click, a tap. It feels like you're just killing a moment, but you're actually doing something much more profound. You've trained your brain to treat that tiny gap of emptiness like a critical system error, a dangerous crash that must be fixed immediately. So when you later try to sit down and focus on something important, work, a project, even a book, you find you can't. You think you're just fighting off a distraction. But what if I told you that you're not fighting a distraction? You're fighting a chemical withdrawal. Your mind is screaming for a hit of novelty, for that next little dopamine spike, because you've spent years teaching it that emptiness is a threat, that silence is something to be avoided at all costs. But here's the crazy part. What if this feeling, this enemy you've been fighting, is actually your brain's most powerful, most essential tool, and you've been throwing it away, day after day, for years? We live in a world obsessed with productivity hacks, focus apps, and adding more things to our routine to become more efficient. But focus isn't something you add. It's what naturally emerges when you stop adding everything else. It's the default state of a healthy mind. Neuroscience actually has a term for the system you've been silencing. It's called the default mode network. Think of it as your brain's background operating system. It's the powerful behind-the-scenes processor that only truly powers on when you're not actively focused on an external task. It activates when you're bored, when you're staring out a window, taking a shower, or going for a walk without headphones. This is not your brain being lazy. This is your brain doing some of its most important work. The default mode network is where you solve complex problems that have been bugging you for weeks. It's where you make those sudden, creative leaps and connect seemingly unrelated ideas. It's where your brain consolidates experiences and builds your long-term memory and sense of self. It's literally where your best ideas come from, and you are starving it. On average, we interrupt this vital background process every 90 seconds with a notification, a quick scroll, or a new tab. We are constantly pulling our brain out of this deep, restorative state. And then we have the audacity to wonder why we can't think deeply anymore, why we feel so creatively blocked, so scattered, so anxious. We blame ourselves, our lack of discipline, or the complexity of our work. But the truth is, we're simply not giving our brains the one thing they need most, a little bit of strategic nothingness. The solution isn't to just passively endure boredom when it happens. The solution is to actively prescribe it, to deploy it as a tool. So, how do you do that? How do you retrain your brain to embrace this state instead of running from it? Here's a simple, 3-step plan to start weaponizing your boredom. Step 1 is what I call the 10-minute boredom buffer. Before you start any important task, that big report, that creative project, that study session, I want you to do something radical. Sit down with no phone, no music, no podcasts, no inputs of any kind. Just you, a blank notepad, and 10 minutes on a timer. The first few minutes will feel like torture. Your brain will panic. It will scream for a distraction. It will invent 1,000 urgent things you need to do right now. Just sit with it. Let the storm pass. Soon, your brain will give up and get bored. And right there, in that boredom, something magical will happen. Your default mode network will finally switch on. It will start handing you solutions to problems you were stuck on. It will organize your thoughts. It will give you a clear plan of attack for the work ahead. All you have to do is write these ideas down as they come. In just 10 minutes, you've turned that wall of resistance you always feel before starting a task into a clear, actionable roadmap. You haven't forced focus. You've allowed clarity to emerge naturally. Step 2 is the daily stimulus fast. For just 30 minutes a day, I want you to go completely input blind. This is non-negotiable. It could be during your daily walk, on your commute, or while you eat lunch. No podcasts, no audiobooks, no music, no scrolling through social media. It's just you and the world around you. Now, this isn't meditation. You don't have to sit there trying to empty your mind. In fact, it's the opposite. You're letting your mind wander wherever it wants to go. You're giving your brain the unstructured time it needs to do its essential filing, connecting, and processing work. Think of it like a computer defragmenting its hard drive. It's the critical mental maintenance that you've been skipping for years. At first, it might feel weird, even unproductive. But soon, you'll find that these 30 minutes become the most mentally refreshing part of your day. It's when you have your best insights and solve your biggest personal and professional puzzles. Step 3 is about taming the beast while you work. Let's call it the boredom cue notepad. You know the feeling. You're deep into a task, and suddenly, an itch hits you. I wonder what the capital of Mongolia is. I should check the reviews for that new movie. What was that actor's name again? Your old habit is to immediately open a new tab and kill the curiosity. That single click shatters your focus and pulls you out of the zone. The new strategy is simple. Don't open the tab. Instead, keep a dedicated notebook or a simple text file open. When the urge to Google something random hits, just write it down on your boredom cue list. This one small action is incredibly powerful. First, it acknowledges the urge without surrendering to it, which kills the immediate distraction. Second, it creates a list of trivial tasks that you can batch together and knock out later during a designated break. You turn these random, focus-destroying urges into scheduled, productive fuel for your downtime. You stay in control. When you start implementing these 3 steps, something profound begins to shift. That gnawing anxiety you feel in quiet moments starts to fade. The emptiness no longer feels like a threat. It starts to feel like potential. It feels like an open space where good things can happen. You find yourself starting to crave the quiet because you learn what follows: a state of hyperclarity, a deep flow state that you don't need to force with caffeine or complicated rituals. It's simply the natural default state of an uncluttered mind. Your phone gradually transforms from being your master back into being a tool that you use with intention. Distractions lose their magnetic pull because you're no longer afraid of the silence they were designed to fill. You realize you don't need them. Understand this: the modern world, the entire digital economy, is designed to steal your boredom. It's engineered to monetize every single second of your attention. Every app, every platform, every notification is a tiny soldier in an army, fighting to keep you from ever being alone with your own thoughts. Why? Because a distracted mind is a profitable mind. It buys more, clicks more, and consumes more. Your secret weapon in this battle for your attention isn't another app or a more complicated system. It's fighting back with deliberate, strategic nothingness. Weaponize your boredom. Schedule it into your day. Protect it fiercely. It's not dead air. It's not wasted time. It is the fertile ground where every great idea, every creative solution, and every moment of true clarity grows. Thank you for watching. If this idea resonated with you, hit that subscribe button and let me know in the comments how you plan to use boredom this week.